there, this is Alina and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I have decided to share with you how my day looked like when I was working at the farm, the daily activities that I used to carry out so that if you're considering to work on the farm, at least you'll have an idea of what to expect. So I'm not going to waste any time, I'm just going to jump in straight to the point. So the first activity that you get to carry out as soon as you get to the farm is to record the temperature. So we have a book that we use to record the temperature. We normally check the temperatures inside all the greenhouses, inside all the tunnels, and also outside. So while you recording the temperatures inside the greenhouse, you're supposed to look around so that you can check what is it that needs attention, or if there is anything that's wrong. You know, maybe the pipe is leaking, or maybe there is the crops are infested with pests or insects or something that needs like attention. While you're doing that, if you have an aquaculture at the farm like we did, you're also supposed to feed the fish, you know, and make sure that the water is still enough in the fish tanks and also in the hydroponic tanks. So you need to make sure that everything is fine. Yeah, that's what you do while you're taking the temperature. So the second thing that you do is we take the order. So we would call the local stores that we're supposed to deliver for. We call them, collect the order. Basically, you tell them your name or where like the farm's name where you're working, and then you ask for their order, and then they'll tell you, okay, I want 10 pounds of spinach, I want carrots, I want eggs, I want whatever that they want, they'll tell you. And then from there, then you talk to your team. You tell your team, okay, A, you are going to pick spinach, B, you're going to get carrots, C, you're going to get eggs, you know. And so we had big buckets that we used for picking. So we'll all like go different ways to pick what needs to be picked for that day, and then bring it back. We weigh it before we could start with any processing. We weigh it to make sure that it's the right amount of what they wanted. So what I would advise people to do is I would advise you to pick the right amount, but if you're really not sure if this is the right amount or not, I think it's better to not to over pick, you know, because if you didn't over pick, then at least you'll go back and harvest. I know it's time consuming, but it's better than when you over pick and then you just left with so much spinach that we don't even know what you're going to do with it. So that's more like a waste, you understand? So it's better if you pick less than to pick more. Okay, so that's basically what happens. So you would go pick and then bring it back. If it's close to what we want, then we wash it. You will divide the activities because you can't be doing everything by yourself. So you will divide the activities. There will be people who are, for example, there will be people who are washing, right? And then there will be someone who's drying, and then there will be someone who's packaging, you know. And then after packaging, then we deliver. And when you're done with the delivery, you come back to the farm, and normally it will be around lunchtime. If it's not lunchtime yet, it will be maybe 30 or 40 minutes before lunchtime. So you have to work that detail 40 minutes before lunchtime, and we would be doing activities like hoeing or weeding up until lunch, and then you go have lunch, you come back. So after lunch, we would normally water the greenhouses, the cold frame, and other plants that are close to the greenhouse, you know. And from there, normally watering doesn't take that long, you know. It's pretty like 30 to 40 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour, you know. because we divide activities again, so you don't normally water all the greenhouses. The other person will be watering greenhouse 1 and 2, and the other one 3 and 4, or the other one 5 and 6, or the other one the cold frame and outside. You understand? So we will be watering the greenhouses mainly. That's what we do after lunch, and then from there we would be doing activities like soil preparation, mulching. We will be planting. We would be weeding. We would be hoeing. Yeah, so those are the main tasks that you normally do. And we don't try to do like one activity for about like 5 hours or 4 hours, so we try to be like maybe 2 hours of weeding, then 2 hours of planting, and then just before we knock off, we would normally do something like sitting just to cool down, because we've been working very hard during the day. So we would do things like seeding or transplanting, and then we knock off. But those are not the only activities that you do. Those are almost like the daily activities. They're more like daily activities. So on other days, we do things like fixing the fence, for example, like building a structure, or removing a greenhouse, or building a greenhouse. You understand? Things like that. So I didn't mention those because those are not like daily activities, but there are days where we do things like that. And that is when I am working with crops. So if I am working with animals, it's different, right? So actually, wait, there's one thing that I almost forgot. So you remember I said like we check the temperatures in the morning. We also check the temperatures late in the afternoon. So we record the afternoon temperatures as well. But we don't check the greenhouse temperatures. We only check the washroom temperatures before we knock off, and then we record it down, and then we knock off. So if you're working with animals, it's a bit different. It's not the same way as working with crops. You carry out different activities. The first thing that you normally do when you get to the farm and you're working with animals is mostly feeding. Like we start first by feeding the animals because they're hungry, they want their breakfast, and you also clean their bucket of water. You clean it, you clean the container, and then you give them clean water, and then you give them feed, and then like that takes us like quite a long time because it's a lot of animals. We start first by feeding the chickens, we feed the ducks, we feed the pony, the donkeys, the alpacas, and they have different houses. So you walk a distance to move to the next house. You understand? And they're not eating the same feed as well. And in the feed, there's a lot of things that you put in, like minerals, like salt, all the nutrients that they need. So it's not just like maybe you put in 1 spoon and that's it. No, it's a lot of things that you put in, so it takes quite some time. So we feed the animals up until almost lunchtime as well. Up until maybe, so we get to the farm by, did you check in at 8? I think we started work at 8 or 7:30. I'm not really sure now, but I think 8. So we would feed the animals from 8 o'clock to around 10 or 11. I think so. maybe 2 to 3 hours of feeding animals, and then we start cleaning the houses, the animal houses. We clean them, and then by lunchtime we leave. Normally by lunchtime we're done cleaning and feeding. And then when we come back from lunch, we do things like we do things like, actually, I really enjoyed this podcast. Well, I also enjoyed feeding. Don't get me wrong, I also enjoyed feeding. But after lunch, I feel like you get to connect more with the animals, because you get to do activities like brushing the animals, spraying them, or braiding them, or like, it was nice activities like, walking the bunnies, giving them exercise. It was really like nice activities that made me to connect with the animals. I really, really enjoyed that so much. And then from there, what we did is also, okay, like, we don't do that the whole afternoon. We just do it like for a very short period of time, and then we start cleaning. We start not cleaning. We start feeding. We feed. We give them water, and then okay. Before feeding, actually, if there's anything that needs to be fixed, like a structure, maybe the animal broke down the fence or something happened to the fence, we have to fix it. If maybe the house structure needs to be fixed, we also fix the house structure. So it was really nice. Hey, and then when we're done with those activities, then we start feeding, and then feeding and giving water, like we're just refilling water, and then from there we basically done. Like, it's almost 4:30 or 4 o'clock. We're preparing to leave now, so we're closing each and every house. Make sure that all the animals are in the houses, or if maybe it's cold in winter, make sure all the chickens are in the house, in their poultry houses, so that they don't freeze at night, basically. And if it's summer, you don't have to stress about closing the doors and things like that. The doors of the poultry houses, they can still, they will go to the house if they want to. But the animals, we always lock their doors before we knock off. And then the last activity that you normally do when we're working with animals is to wash the chicken eggs. We pick the eggs, and then we wash them, and then we package them, and then we take them to the store, and then we are done with our day. I hope you guys now have an idea of how it is like to work on a farm. But what I can tell you is it differs from farm to farm. You might not be doing the same activities as I did, simply because maybe you're working at a farm that sells something else, that produces maybe dairy farm, you understand? So the activities might differ a bit. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.